I remember when I was 6 years old, growing up as a little girl in Jamaica, I lost my mom at a very early age. So, but even at 6 years old, I was thinking that, you know what, I want to hone orphanages with, young ladies. But I thought it was going to be in Africa. I never thought it was going to be in the United States because we was living in Jamaica. But growing up, I always think of others who were less fortunate like myself, who never didn't have a mom in the house to grow up with, and always watch other young ladies at that, and I admired that. So I remember thinking, I started going to school for nursing, found out that I wouldn't do well in nursing, and so I ended up in business administration and ended up graduating in business administration. And then one day, the Lord decided that it was time for me to leave, and so I left and started House of Love Youth Home. We started just with one home, with a young lady that wanted to move in from the court system. And so my husband and I, at the time, I got married. So we actually was living in the home where we first started the first group home. And we had to leave the home. We gave the home because the Lord started putting in my heart it was time now, and I had another 2-bedroom house. So I gave up my 4-bedroom house because the Lord was leading in my spirit, and we just moved into the 2-bedroom home once I got married, and we started our first group home. And now we're up to around 4 homes, and some of them are working with women who have suffered from domestic violence, or women, some of the same youth that we were working with before who have aged out of the foster care system. It takes us about, to run one home, it takes around $25,000 to $30,000 per month. And it was this past month was a really challenging month for us. We were trying to make payroll, and it just, trying to make ends meet, all the bills and all of that. And I was a little worried, I have to be honest. But as I was sitting there thinking, the Lord started to speak to my heart and says, this is not your worry, but my worry. God sacrificed his son, Jesus, for us. We have to make some sacrifices. And we have to be obedient as we're making these sacrifices to God, to know that this is God's ministry. He have called us to help take care of his people, and this is some of the way that we have to do it.
Growing up, I lived with my mother and my 6 sisters. It was rough, poor, dirty, never had a stable home. It was a lot of place to place, eviction to eviction. Not having food. I remember being hungry, and we would eat like mayonnaise sandwiches and syrup sandwiches, and that was like a daily thing, and it was normal to us. I would go to school with like blood on my shirt, and the teachers, would ask, and I would have to say like, oh, I fell or I bumped my head, when really at home, my mother would beat on us. It was a lot of beating, a lot of things that just children shouldn't see. Miss Julette, they held my hand, they were there for me, they would talk to me. And the key things that I remember when I left was that I had a reason to live. I remember having a reason to live, and having a reason to live for my family and for somebody else out there. I knew I had a destiny and I had a purpose.